So take a look where we bounced. Let me switch this to the left side. I can't extend that. This lets you extend. Yep. Just draw it, but take a look at this. Is that magical? Saw it today. I missed the long on it. I had to go buy a tent. We were going camping with the kids. I had to go buy a tent, a bunch of gear with them, and golly, that was awful. So, but here's, a high volume node. Why do you guys think this was an important bounce for gold here?
Rejection of previous value.
Or they're telling you they want to go higher. If this is your monthly profile, they're telling you we want to go higher. They're interested in higher prices, right? So on gold, I mean, we ran 40, 50 points from there. And gold pays pretty nicely as well. Yeah, no worries. Let me do it again. Let's see. We'll bring up RTH for a moment. So the main points that we covered is that today we had the peak above and fail, right? Which was two scenarios that I outlined. Either we're gonna, out of this balance that we had, the 2-day, which is the merged profiles right here on the left, we peak above here and we fail, and then we are looking to short from here all the way to the bottom right here. It was about 74 and a quarter, I believe, that I marked. Yeah, 74 and a quarter, and that was the target. And then when you saw this pickup, right, and if you turn on the volume, there's some pickup in volume today when this was happening. So that was good. That means there's a little bit of emotional buyers, sellers coming in here. They sold off lefty single prints. So now we're treating this zone as, you can treat it as 1 and almost a 2. Why is this not considered a true distribution on the top? Does anyone know?
It's less than 3 TPOs wide.
That's correct. Yeah, it's less than 3 TPOs wide. Usually you want to have another letter, like making it more like a HVN or a longer horizontally. Does that make sense to all? We needed one more letter next to it to make it a really nice distribution, but we didn't get that. So either way, 76 to 68 are single prints. That's called an efficiency in the market, or emotional sellers came in. So if there's two scenarios we're watching, right? If they eat up these single prints, means let's say you're trading somewhere around here right now, but let's say we open above these single prints and then we lose and kind of can't hold them. That's a pretty good short, and I'll take that. I'll take a short. If we open here and you see aggression coming in on buying, we'll watch to see how they behave. First instinct here is to take a little short, but don't go heavy, right? Don't go heavy because we are above this level here that we've been watching. And the only other thing that's saving us is that we also have a poor low here with some decent access. But if they eat up these single prints, and let's say they find acceptance here above this, this is going to run, and I believe it will go pretty crazy, and you'll get 68.40 in a day. So if well, in terms of peak above and fail, the A period really never had competition there with anyone. It was all A period above. There was no other periods here, and it left your access top. So we know that there are sellers there now. So since sellers are there now, and then you have this sporadic B period here, the C, A, B, and C and D were framing down nonstop. And then, of course, they at the bottom they found value, which is critical, I guess, to hold where we are at the prior all-time high. So this is treated as access now because we found some sellers finally, and more importantly, the value clearly shifted from here down, and that's what we talked about in the class, right? We wanted to see, before we start shorting and swinging stuff, we wanted to see this. We wanted to see a shift in value, if you guys remember, and that's exactly what we got. So tomorrow is a pretty good for continuation. If that happens, right, we can get some, maybe even 0 DT puts. I'll probably get Friday's puts or maybe Mondays. And you can play SPY, whatever that drop is, about 30, 48, 30 points, 40 points here. And I would probably look to close any longs here at the 67.10 level. So that's the plan.
Hey, Shorty, are those single prints in B period like important? Are they usually respected or no?
These right here, no, I don't care about them. Are you talking about these little ones?
Yeah.
No, I don't care for those. I
Okay,
would mark
thank you.
it more importantly here. I would just know that this is access, but this would be my level, 67.89. As you'll see here, if you expand it a little bit. So what that's telling you, what does that tell you? So you see you have single prints here, then you have single prints, right? So you have access, single prints, and then C was never able to close that gap. So it's showing you that there was a little bit of aggression immediately to get off and start selling. Considering we closed at the bottom.
So would
right?
those sellers not show up if price
Oh.
hits that exact same price or like that?
They would 89.
area
That's
again?
where I would expect them, man.
Okay.
You would expect them to show up here.
Hey, Shorty, what would have been the best level to like short this at?
Today,
Was it B period? Yeah.
I probably would have shorted a break A period when the B started framing down, put the stop loss about the 50% and take it from there.
Okay.
Because, you know, we talked about this poor high, right? Previous week high, poor high. I mean, they came and swept it. And then when you saw this go above and they're not able to hold it, you had a couple of nice candles. You had a tweezer top on 10 minutes. You cracked the low and then they just continued dumping, right? Usually when this happens, if the overnight session eats up and we open here, typically they'll continue the running tomorrow, right? If tonight they don't eat up all these single prints and they leave something here and it seems like maybe they're, I don't know, deciding because it's a really awkward profile so far. It looks like a box. I would expect that we're going to go a little bit more down tomorrow. So I'm going to see how we behave to this and react to it. Not going to predict what happens, but I'm thinking they're going to start liquidating a little bit more because there's not enough meat for a long here. From here, you know, there'll be participation at this level. We should see some people coming here.
Okay, thank you.
I'll show you guys something else. Bring it up. I'm just setting it up. So here's your daily profile on SPY. On a daily candle, on a daily cloud, and you guys will see that we got inside this. We tried to peek above. We're inside of it, kind of below the trend bar. 662 and then 665. 655 would be the bottom, which is also the target that we just talked about on SPY, if you guys recall, about 654. So there's a very strong chance that we might be going for that on SPY. And here's your weekly profile as well on clouds. And you guys can see the clouds are getting really, really suppressed. And there's a lot of divergences being played out right now on SPY. So if they're able to kind of crack inside of this cloud here, which is below 652, you know, 614 is not too far. It will happen quickly. And then the last one here on the monthly time frame. So here's the monthly. So the only thing is that 651 can be used as a backdoor right now. And the good thing that's here is that this cloud is now still open. So the price can navigate through it and it shouldn't be a stop. And here's Qs. Qs look a little bit, I'll say worse, but let's see. I'll show you weekly first. And same thing, compression. So losing the 586, which is not too far away, will open up the doors for a decent drop all the way to about 543. Let me find the daily. And the same setup on the daily like the prior, and here's this one. We got inside, and now there's a high chance we can drop $10 here tomorrow or this week to 596 on Qs. Really, really fast, and ultimately 587. And this is about to flip. This cloud is about to be closed here, and if we're below it and it closes, do you guys know what I typically do in those scenarios?
Short the retest or grab
Short.
puts.
I'll load the boat usually on options when that happens, right? When this cloud is closed and Qs are below it, that usually signals and gives me a little bit more confidence that we're going to go, mid and the bottom here. And this is a daily time frame candle. So this can happen in a day. All of this here. Yeah, there's a lot of divergence as well. So I just want to show you guys, and a lot of stocks look pretty terrific for shorts here. Let me give you guys another one. Guys, look at everyone's favorite. So here's Tesla, and Drew, didn't you say this is a good short on Tesla when we did the class the other day? When we talked about this. So when it was reaching the top of the clouds, this was the quarterly. So this was an easy short on Tesla right here, and now they're in the daily top. This is most likely headed right here, which is about 393 on Tesla. If they're to lose this 383, guys, I promised you that the speed that this is going to drop to about 297 is going to be pretty fast. And this would be potentially a good spot right here. This zone would be a good spot for longs on Tesla. Coin, this one looks pretty juicy. So this one here, has the weekly top and the monthly top, and it just went below it. So once it clears this, it's basically a free fall, to this zone 337 and then 314. And this can happen by the end of the week on this stock. Unfortunately or fortunately, our jack is okay. We do have a full send as well on 4 hours now, so let's see kind of what they do. But if the market takes turn, of course, this can go down, and I would just cut it, shortly below, because I'm looking to make quick money off of it. We were up decently, but I didn't take much profits. AMD was, I don't know if you guys saw it, but this one looks pretty interesting as well. They peaked above the quarterly clouds, and that's usually a no-no, right? So we probably go below the monthly here, 192. If we do, it's going to be a disaster. Same thing, when people are scared to buy at the bottom here on AMD. If they lose this, it's gonna take a decent beating. Probably come back to about 145. Long-term hold might not be bad here, but there's so much circular investments going on with AI right now that I'll be very careful adding large positions at these levels. If you guys look at Oracle, this looks like it's ready to drop. Ideally, we want to catch this, let it drop to about this level right here. This will be a bounce here. I guarantee you they're going to bounce from this area right here. So this will be a good between one kind of 203 to 190 area. This will be a good buy. if the demand and supply are not met, even if there's more demand but not enough supply, Oracle will drop much more than this, and I could see it dropping to 126 because they have a lot of debt and they need to generate cash in order to pay it off, right? And their rentals with NVIDIA GPUs are not paying off right now. So keep an eye on this. You guys care for it. Did anyone see snow lately? So if you guys remember, this was our, we were long in this area right here, if you guys remember, and I think it was like 154 or something like that. The POC that we talked about that we should get back in, and then obviously since then it's been, you're talking about 100% returns on this. So not the best spot to initiate, but once they clear 249, it's headed to about 312, and they'll complete the whole cycle, the bullish cycle of it. So we'll do a stock scan probably on Monday of this week, since I'm going camping this weekend with the kiddos. There's a lot of stocks actually that are potentially good setups for shorts. If you guys like playing options, we'll look at some swing options for short opportunities. There's a lot more stocks at the top than at the bottom of the clouds when I ran the scans right before the class. There's a lot of energy stocks that are coming up. I do think copper stocks or any kind of raw materials to help with electricity are going to be important. So if you have time, do your due diligent research and see. It doesn't have to be necessarily only US-based stocks. For instance, Chile is the biggest exporter of copper. They produce 40% of the output for the world. So just be open-minded, right? And US also brings democracy whenever they need it for any of those raw materials. So just keep that in mind in terms of what could happen here in the near future. Not telling you what will happen, just giving you scenarios what can happen.
Was that a Helldivers 2 reference?
Say it again.
Was that a Helldivers 2 reference? You also bring democracy when it needs materials?
Well, I'm not lying. Whenever they need something, they say we're gonna bring democracy over. It works pretty well. There's a lot of setups for shorts, guys. This is becoming almost like Apple at these levels does not make sense. Last time, if you guys remember, just pay attention to the bottom here. Do these look identical at all? You ran it and then a significant drop. So we're probably going to drop on Apple to about 243. So for instance, if I was to play this, this will happen probably within 3 weeks. You're going here on Apple. So if you're going to play this, right, what month are we in? October. So I would look at November monthlies, for instance, and target like 240 on Apple.
Shorty, for these, do you wait for this to get out of the cloud and then test it, or
Yeah. No, so this one here, we'll just have to lose the cloud right here that's sitting at 254.98, this yellow one. Once it loses it, it's just gonna start selling.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
That'll be 247, so $7 here, and then ultimately they're gonna finish this and complete it there. But Apple has a lot of room. I would say if their sales disappoint on the phones, this right here is probably a good target for it, 184. All right. Well, we'll be live tomorrow, and then I have to go to my son's teacher conferences. I'll be live in the morning, and then I'll step away about 10. I think it's at 11, so about 10:30 or so, just enough to get some trades in. I'll share my screen in the morning, and we can go from there. But it should be a good day if it plays out as it should. But we'll be, I would say we'll be nimble and see what they bring, what they do overnight, and play it accordingly.
Thanks, Shorty.
All right.
you, sir.
Have a good night, guys. Bye bye.